그냥 좋다. 그만. 이제 그만.
Well, good afternoon to one and all, and welcome back to the 23rd HITE JINRO Championship on this mostly overcast Saturday in Jeoju. Today is the day where the sides will really try and carve their place on the leaderboard. EA1 certainly did that with some very consistent play yesterday, especially down the stretch, showing her ability to reset after rare mistakes and continue to find birdies. She remains our leader as we begin our 3 hours of coverage of this final major championship of the season. A little bit long on her approach as she goes off the back. We'll head over to 9. This is No Soong-yi. She's playing 9-iron at +3 from the rough at 102 meters. Only 3 players are under par. Kim Min-sun's 7 is the lone at even. Started the tournament with 108 and cut the field down to 65 by day's end yesterday. Now Genie, this is just a little lofted effort from the border of the rough at number 8. So within the first few minutes of the round, we say good afternoon. You are more than welcome to the Blue Heron Golf Club. 6,115 meters of pristine beauty cut into the mountainside here in Jeoju. This is the 23rd HITE JINRO Championship. It is our final major of the season. And EA1 looking to continue her run of dominance in 2023. My name is Adam Jenkins. Pleasure to have you aboard. Not quite as sunny and warm as it has been earlier this year, but my goodness, is the course in fantastic shape for this first week of October. Well, EA1 patiently waits her turn while Kim Soo-ji on the other side of the green tries to get a read on this very difficult putt. finally ready to go. It's not the longest of backswings as there's a lot of downhill there. She was putting, started uphill from the fringe and just ran out of steam. ENG needs this to save her par, just a touch to get it started. She has it in the bottom of the cup. +1 is where she remains. And admittedly, running a little bit behind today when we began, albeit we started a couple of hours later. We were much further along. But with less groups out there, there'll be less holdups at the various tees, and we should be in a nice flow from here to hole 54. Sung Eugene had the weight just and only just slightly offline. So she'll tap in and knows that that is an opportunity that she has let slip. Finds herself trailing by 3 as we return to the 9th, the par 4, no Sungi. And that is the best sound for any golfer to hear. Kim Soo-ji about 5 feet to save a par. She is the closest to EA1 with a deficit just 2. She's somehow, from such a short distance, not been able to save that short par. After a really good setup putt, that has to be incredibly deflating. Good drive that finds the fairway. From about the same distance, it'll be a little left to right from our vantage point. Does cost her a stroke. She drops to -2 and is now tied for second with Sung Eugene, her second bogey of the day. And hole number 8 here at Blue Heron, the second to last on the east course on the way out. 345 meters, a dogleg right with the water feature separating the end of the fairway from the front of the green. As you approach over the fountain, gazing off towards the trees, so this is a fairly wide putting surface to try and reach. Our pin placement today in round 3 is if you were to go straight up from the left edge of that water, march off 25 yards towards the left at the rear. That's where the flag would be flown on this Saturday.
실례하겠습니다. 뒤에 좀 멈춰주세요.
The A1 still with the honor as we reflect back to how she's fared on 8 and 9 so far this week. 6 pars altogether. Started the round with a bogey, her earliest on the front 9 this week. Immediately got that stroke back at number 2. It has been all pars ever since. And for Sung Eugene, she had birdied here on Thursday, par yesterday. Altogether on these par 5s, she has been driving the ball incredibly well. Hardly missed on the par 5s. Few misses, 7 of 10. Par 4s to date as we go check in on our low amateur. Yang Yun So, currently +2. She is still inside of the top 20 at +5 at the moment. Our next closest challenger down at +11, so certainly some breathing room there. Suji is the final to drive. Onward to Kimiani, who was certainly one of the players of the early stages of this tournament. Was right beside her groupmate with a solid approach there. "20 degrees today, hardly any wind, only 0.4 meters per second at the moment. Expecting similar conditions heading into tomorrow's final round. Pitching wedge for Chung Soo Gi from the fairway. Lift this straight up in the air, needs to stay as close to the front as she can. She succeeded in that. And 7 yards closer, Im Jini. Sand wedge. pitching wedge rather, at the 48, and she makes it work just the way she likes it. A little over 15 minutes into our coverage of round 3 from Blue Heron. EA1's lead is 3 strokes over Sun Yujin and Kim Soo-ji, all in the featured group on hole number 8. Kim Soo-ji, the first to play as we return to Yeoju. Couldn't quite get that down in time. Kim Yeon-hee not enjoying that putter at the minute. She's going to go to +4. Very good vantage point to clearly illustrate the two stages of this green. Front and back, and EA1 is on the former. A little bit more carry, and it's just going to stay up. Thought about for a moment coming back down, but Sung Eugene stays at the back plateau. For Imjini, to get back to even, she needs this 4-meter left to right putt that is only successful 26% of the time this year. Odds are stacked against her. And just enough. Great putt, very well executed. Good time to get it. Goes out with an even 36. And for EA1, moves to within 4 feet or so. Decent read.
조금도 안 돼. 오케이.
On its way, needs to start to move. Begins its slide. Not before it ran out of speed. Sung Eugene looks up to see the ball start to come in, but that last little break just as she was level with the hole. EA1 taking her time to line this up. Hole number 45 for her of this 72-hole major. Doing her best to prevent a slide. Sustain that advantage heading to the West course. Right on the money. So they're halfway through their rounds. And no change in the top three. 3 strokes separate them. EA1 at -5. Sung Yujin, Kim Soo-ji. They'll be the next to finish at 2 under. Im Jeannie at even. And Hung Yamin leading the list of those tied for 5th at +1. Back-to-back birdies now for Young Yun So, up to +3, just outside of the top 10. Is remarkable for the amateur. Jumped the gun a little bit. Got a bit carried away, thinking that we were on 9. Not the case, just arriving now. Another dogleg right, a significant one at that. Absolutely gorgeous views from the drone, and it is a steep downhill from the tee box. About 18 yards, a descent to the fairway, and from there the creek separates the green. That is very hilly. You have the waterfall and the cliff to the right side. Our pin today, front right, 7 yards off the front and 5 from the side.
멈춰주세요. Next up is Sung Eugene. Can't even see the fairway from our perch up here.
하겠습니다. 네, 카메라 미리 눌러주세요.
Kim Soo-ji with a bullet. That was incredible. Reached for a little bit more. Where's it gone? That's literal perfection. What a drive. They disappear on the march down the hill. We will, in the meantime, slip on over to 10. Kimani. Just outside of 4 meters to get to +4, but she's pushed it.
이렇게 건너가서 하시는 네, 더 오셔도 돼요. 우리 발을 더 오셔도 돼요.
2-putt par, stays at her +5. So while we wait for our featured group to reach the fairway, we will step aside for a quick reset. Remains the same up top. Hung Yu-min, the rookie, up to +1. Great bounce back for her, on pace for a 68 today. Same with Kerry Park, on pace for a 69. 3 under as well for Hung Jung-mi. We'll be right back. Stay with us for the 23rd HITE JINRO Championship. from the rough to the backside of the green as we carry along at number 9. And the next up, that is a scintillating approach to about 4 meters and uphill, which is, of course, the preference. And we can't be surprised. She struck the ball incredibly well, as has EA1, not just this week, but this season. EA1 to the right side of this green. A little long for Kim Suji. She goes to the back. Kim So-yoon 2 now at +2 from the fairway, lands it about the perfect spot. Nice little roll around and a very makeable birdie.
불러가겠습니다. 멈춰주세요.
Little less club, and the result is a roll back towards that front third. Probably takes birdie off the table. Well, it is a race to the Wii Mix Championship, the 2023 Wii Made Point Award, currently being held by EA1, who also is our purse leader at the moment. 20 million won up for grabs, and then the 2023 Wii Mix points. The top 60 players based on the Wii Mix points earned in the 23 Tour will receive NFTs. That's a pretty neat little initiative for the top 60. It is a evolution from the LFAZ's points and a nice new race on offer. Kim Min Bial is the leader in the Wii Mix Championship. 22 events played, 4,570 points amassed so far this season. Ends up about pin high. It was absolutely overcooked. No doubt the wrong club selection for Sung Eugene on that approach. This agony for Kim Soo-ji. Give it a really good effort, but it will be par.
여기부터? 오케이. 슬라이스? 슬라이스 이거 약간 많이 받았어.
Still away, and one last glance at the break and the line from the other side of the pin. Well, she did all the preparation she could and had time for. Just needed execution, but couldn't find it. That will be very, very deflating heading to the back nine. Birdie 2, 3 bogeys the rest of the way on the way out, and it is becoming a gulf with a U between her and EA1. Two to go in the featured group. Back and forth the pendulum. Nicely done. So a birdie to start the back nine for Kim So-yoon 2. Well, now EA1 advantage is definitely in her corner. And this looks left. Yep, just gonna miss inside. Well, the birdieing did not carry over on 10. And in this particular case, not only a miss,
Derby pause. Tee shot on the first par 3 of the back 9, and it's going to slowly inch its way back towards the pin. Jeannie is next. She's going with 6-iron here.
화이팅! 잠시만요. 좀 나와주세요. 실례하겠습니다. 잠시만요. 뒤 좀 멈춰주세요.
So as ZA1 prepares to tee off, she knows that she can give up a couple on the way in and still be in the featured group tomorrow. That's how consistent she's played, but really showing no signs of faltering. Kim Soo-ji's turn as she marches over through the narrow corridor.
자, 카메라 버튼 누르지 말아주세요.
last to go. Belts it. She quite literally ends up right beside her group mates. 2 nice drives. The gallery continues to grow following the featured group, who are heading down to the 10th fairway. 3 strokes still separates EA1 and Kim Soo-ji, but the bogey for Sung Yoo-jin means she trails by 4. Little bouncer, just catching the rough. That actually might have done her a favor. Rolls through the tall grass, through the fringe, and comes to a stop.
잠시만요. 자, 플레이하겠습니다. 골!
EA1 approaches this second shot on the par 5 from the rough. Sees that through and into the fairway.
자, 플레이하겠습니다. 바로 플레이합니다. 이동 좀 멈춰주세요, 제발.
As they continue to make their way across the par 5, we will check in with Chihan Sol on number 13. From the rough on the par 4, she's a +6. That is tied for 19th. Really nice touch. She's going to get this pin high, maybe even closer. Almost an eagle. Second from Sung Eugene. And this downhill with a sharp break. Moves over immediately, was always going to fade away. So it's a two-putt finish from there for Imjini. Jansol, well, she could have used any club in her bag, and she still would have had that tap in. Nice birdie for her. Lands with a thud and a little bounce. And the next approach. Not going to be able to clear the rough and knocked back down into it. Sung Eugene struggling with those wedges, and everything up to the green. The past hour or so has been difficult. .108 for EA1, also just into the rough, having missed left with driver. With the 5-wood, excuse me, with her second shot. Here she goes towards the green. She is just going to clear. She's going to need some help here to bring birdie back in. We've seen her make them, but it will be anything but straightforward. Trying to suppress the wry smile. Some frustration mixed in with that as well. Meanwhile, over at 12. Imjini. 6 back, 1 over. A big swing of the driver. Well, who said camera operator wasn't a dangerous job? Keep your head on a swivel always. Time to step aside for a few minutes. Fill up your drink, brew some tea, settle in. Still plenty to go here. 2:05 local time on Blue Heron, live from Yeoju. This is the final major of the season, and EA1, the sophomore, the league leader, continues to impress. More in a moment. welcome back as we are settling in to our second hour of coverage. On the approach from the fairway, lands at about pen high, will roll about 7 feet past it. And the A1, oh, so close.
자, 그럼 선수 어드레스 들어올 땐 제발 카메라 버튼은 누르지 말아주세요.
Last little break away from the pin. So Eugene desperately needed that. Needed a boost. Hope that can propel her to some more birdies on the way in. Suji has her game face on. She strides along to this 11th hole. It is a par 3. It is 159 meters with the big water feature slightly offset to the right. 3 unique and fairly deep traps on the front right as well. Our pin placement today, ladies and gentlemen, in this third round, it is about middle, slightly more to the left. That measurement taking from the furthest point of the green closest to the teeing grounds, which basically means in between the 2 bunkers on the left. Excuse me, I'm reading 13. My mistake, getting par 3 and 11 mixed up. We want to go 21 yards from the edge of the middle bunker and 7 yards from the right. And there's our confirmation as we see it right there. That's going to get a lovely little roll as well. Chung Soo-gi is serenaded with praise as she gets her first birdie of the day. It comes at the 12th hole and it moves her just 1 away from even.
보이는 한 번도 안 먹어.
Suji, well, she is going to have some regrets with that. Eugene is the last to tee off. She starts this towards the back. She is going to get some help. We'll roll down the slope. Hear the gallery saying, go, 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 closer. That's going to be a rather difficult downhill effort. Just misjudged. Needed to start that more to the inside. Bent at the knees, hoping that she could somehow will that ball to stay straight before it broke away, but no dice for Kerry Park. Jog off with a smile on her face. Tee shot could have been worse, but it certainly wasn't straightforward. That's still going to be a rather complex putt to save par. It's a long effort for Sung Eugene. Gave it her best go. She'll have to settle for a par. Another downhill putt, this time from the back of the fringe. Always seemed like the likely outcome. Like that was online. Misadventure had other ideas.
자, 플레이하십니다. 이동 멈춰주세요.
몇 날?
Has to have this to save a par. And just runs out of speed. It's a disappointing one. That is the cost, however, of not finding the green on the par 3.
잠시만요. 플레이하겠습니다.
EA1 somehow just lost her focus. Slight shake of the head for Sung Eugene. I think she might be a little relieved as well to know that the deficit is shrinking. For A1, one last glance back at the hole to try and deduce what went wrong. She bogeys for the first time since the opening hole of this third round, and her lead is down to 3. Hung Yumin continues her remarkable play. She is up to a tie for second at 1 under par.
카메라 버튼 누르지 말아주세요.
Sun Eugene, as she has done, goes for control over power as she begins the route around the trees.
실례하겠습니다.
No time to dwell on the bogey. Fury A1, she reminded us yesterday that she often doesn't have that issue. Today as well. Don't even have to look that far. She was able to go, okay, dropped one at the first and immediately went and got it back. And our featured group is away with 7 holes to play in this second round. From a long way down beneath the green, she's able to get up. No change to that leaderboard, so we continue to look out across the wonderful facility here in Yeoju. It's very nice up as we continue to head across the course. No slowing down. This is 18. 6 under. Hung Yumin is on pace for a 66 or a 65 with one last birdie. He's gone a little bit right and will stop towards the rough. The question is, how close is that video board? She might actually get a little bit of free relief. Take a look at that scorecard. What a run. 5 in a row in the front 9. So Eugene puts the cover on the hybrid. Its job is done. Dead straight shot. Kim Suji straight as an arrow for second. 5 iron. 141 to go. Just a little right to left. Is it short? It's the problem with the 5. Really tough to get the loft you can generate with better angle, but sometimes you need to compromise for the distance to make sure you're even on the green. Proving to be a very tough pin to attack with the distance of this hole and the general theme of not going for driver with the first shot. Kim Yeon-hee on 15 just off the fairway. Nice little lift, runs it through, and look at this go. This is going to be a couple of feet at most. Couldn't have played that any better. So Yoon 2 hardly even makes contact with the ball to get it going downhill. So we got our answer. Not close enough to be a detriment. This is still the 3rd for Hung Yoo-min. A little extra power is one of the best tools in her arsenal. Needed to have a bit more power on that chip to get it up by the pin, and that is going to take birdie off the table. She might not stay on the green here. Yep, all the way off. Rest at the border of the rough. That is the worst possible outcome for her. incredible birdie. The tip of the cap, Kimani, her first of the day after a difficult front nine where she went +4, finally has a circle on that scorecard. Hardly a surprise from her. Not this particular hole, but the ability to put an almost unspeakable run together. When she is on, there is nobody better. Still so early on in her career, so many big things in her future. Sung Eugene, she went long, stopped on the fringe, and she knows that this is going to come back. Has to play it all the way to the right, maybe a bit too deep. Didn't really give it a chance to come back. It's unfortunate. She's on the fringe on the opposite side now. Dayan, she did reach and stay on the green. This for an eagle. Obviously, that's best case outcome. I'd be more than happy to see that change to +4. Call it a day. Leaves it a little short. Didn't want to run the risk of too far beyond. She absolutely can make that birdie. Suji, this looks good. Harrowing how close that was. Two putts gets her there. Picking up speed. Does it keep the line? Yes. Brilliant. Jay Ream on 18 finishes with a birdie. 3 birdies in total today, 2 under. So that vaults Jay Ream inside of the top 10. EA1 has to be really delicate here. Just a wee bit short. She's now over par for the day. So par to keep her at +1 for the round, -4 for the tournament. Advantage remains 3. disapproving look she just offered that ball. Continues to be a frustrating couple of rounds following her breakout performance on Thursday. And Sung Eugene, who had gone fringe to fringe, has to make this to stay under par. Just pushes it. Tricky too with the ball on the border like that. You can't really come perfectly through. There's a little bit more downward motion onto it. So she goes to even. That look says it all. +3 for the day now. And still birdieless since hole number 2. Not enough. Hovers over the hole. Callaway didn't want to make its final revolution. She can give one away, considering what this score looked like. 32 on the way out, 35 on the way in, 67 bogeying the final hole on each of the west and east courses. Gi. Just about pin high, good control to get it there. Down for her birdie and +4. Hesitates. Hopefully she didn't overthink it. Nope. Take a second to steady her nerves. Delivers. Tied for 12th now. It's a great round coming in. 34 after being over par to start. All that a very good day at work. Kim So-Yu 2 second on the 14th hole. Green skips over, and here it comes. Look at this, not really showing any signs of slowing down. About a meter out, 7 eagle. Letting the driver do the talking. And is it going to stay? Yes, just into the second cut of the fairway. Suji is next and rivaling EA1 for the straightest drive. I'm wondering if that's into a sprinkler head because we didn't see that bounce back down. Couldn't play a drive better than that. Middle of the fairway. Her turn to try and bounce back. Down to even and just hanging into a top 5 position all of a sudden. Virginia a bit short with her chip. The little tail. Really nicely played. Always commend the bravery. Aiming left. She one-upped. So her group mate it done and said, okay, hang on. Let me show you what I got. Kim Soo-ji, that was electric. Ginny finishes off with a simple and effective putt. Quite the control that time from EA1, and now Sung Eugene becomes the last to play her approach. 91 meters and a 48-degree wedge. Can she capitalize on a great drive? Yes, she most certainly can. Simple finish. The tip of the cap for Kim So-yoon 2 finds birdie number 2 of the back nine, goes up to even. Meanwhile, another par carded. Kim Jae-hee looking down the hill towards the hole. And a big relief for her. She's been waiting. An eagle. And she finishes the day the best kind of way. Brilliant second shot to set that up. Will finish at +1 for the round, but she won't be able to take that smile off her face for some time. The weight is there, just slightly overhead. Not quite the same level of excitement as Kim Min-ju's round is in the books. Missing out on a birdie, finishes with a par +8 through 3 rounds. Sun Eugene pulls it. Will almost certainly stabilize after a bogey, but that will sting. Percent of the time, a 1.1 meter putt is successful this season. Kim Soo-ji hopes to continue that pattern. Just guides it in. She goes to +1 for the round and is within 2 of the top. One will feel extra good considering how long it's been since her last birdie. Leads only 1 if this putt goes missed. That's why EA1 is going to take an extra moment. She has her par, but the lead shrinks through no fault of her own. And we're on to hole number 14. Dogleg left, contending with a little bit of water. A rocky stream. One tree to delineate where the fairway ends and the hazard begins. Curtain bunker around the water, and one more defending its front left location. Pin placement today, 16 yards from the very front of the green, and from its edge. 14 yards from the right. So pretty much in the middle of its width and just past the front third. Average score on the hole here today, 4.1. Only 10 birdies, 39 pars, 11 bogeys. That is the run so far.
잠시만 멈춰주세요. 플레이하겠습니다.
First shot for birdie. Kim Soo-ji had the honor. She goes to the second cut of the fairway.
멈춰주세요. 플레이하겠습니다. 잠시만요.
Next up is EA1. Wide berth in the fairway. She finds its middle. Last in the group to tee off. So Eugene also in the fairway. 3 decent drives. That officially shepherds us into our third and final hour of coverage. 3 p.m. local time in the Gyeonggi-do region. Lands that pin high. Rolls slightly further away, but also slightly more to the middle. Nothing to write home about, but a decent tee shot on the par 3. Went for it. We have seen that shot work out, but that is the other side of those fine margins. of spectators. Preparation is complete. And execution. Front loading that left leg a little bit more. Muscling up from the rough to the dance floor, though it's on the wrong side of the hole. And might be moving even further away. Perfect weight, the little slide back online. This to just a few feet. Struck it absolutely perfectly. It's a well-earned smile from Sung Eugene. One of the cliches of this sport especially, never get too high, never get too low. It's tough not to get too high when you play a shot like that. Not enough speed to roll it to the back and stay there. Last approach is Kim Soo-ji. She's gone with 8 iron at about 25. And her time on the green, short-lived. Rolling all the way back down to the front. Continues to work well across the course, but just short of bowling out. Our leaderboard looks vastly different now. 2 strokes separate A1 and Kim Soo-ji. Hung Yoo-min in with a 67. She is at a very respectable even par score, tied for third with Kim So-yoon 2, Sung Eugene, but that will be about to change. Kerry Park, Chung Sul-gi, they are at +1. J.A. Reem, Kim Yeon-hee, Im Jeannie run out the top 10 at +3. More rounds concluding. Carey Park, after her double bogey on 17, finishes the day with a par. She goes out with the 34, in with the 35, despite a couple of blemishes. She has moved herself into a really good spot, only 5 positions back. Back to 18, Park Young. +4. This can take her inside the top 10, but narrowly missed. It's an eventful day for her with 4 bogeys. That would have been 4 birdies to even it all out. So it's a par at the end, +1 for the day, +4 for the tournament, just outside the top 10, and as it currently sits, 8 back. It's always going to be one of the more simple putts to finish it off. Kim Soo-ji and No Seung-hee on the par 3 16th. This would reach Park Young at that T11 position. Yes, she's got it. So-yoon 2 trying to save a par here and is successful in that quest. Smile for A1.
플레이하겠습니다.
Obviously a big moment for Sung Eugene. Her group mate's par. She finds birdie. So back under par, sole possession of third, within 3. With 4 holes remaining. 384 meters is this par 4 15th with an incredibly narrow and windy fairway. At the end of it, 2 sand traps to the right, another water feature and fountain. This is the shot that we see so much of this weekend. The green, it is long, it kind of widens out at its back right. But we're not going to need any of that today with such a closely located pin position. Absolutely rocked that drive. We'll stop just before the rough to the left side of the fairway. Onwards to the par 3 16th. That is a 6-iron for Kim So-yoon 2.
자, 플레이하겠습니다. 플레이하겠습니다. 자, 이제 카메라부터 누르지 말아주세요.
Birdie here on 15 in round 1 and a par yesterday for EA1 as the gallery continues to swell around our featured group. Pure stroke and a great sound. And a great visual of the match right down the middle.
앞에 잠시만 좀 기다려주세요.
Kimani, 9-iron, her approach, the penultimate hole at +6. Good chance to go to +5. So more and more groups coming through the blue tents beneath the banner, identifying our major championship, the 23rd playing of it. Looks to be just an absolutely wonderful autumn weekend. Not the longest of walks, but Kim Soo-ji had to venture out into the rough. Little layup, as she didn't want to compound that mistake with another. And EA1, 136. that is just about perfection. Falters after a really good run. Back-to-back holes. Not quite enough line. The speed was there. $95 offset right on the fairway. Needs to go over the little mound and attack this pin. She had to be close because that will be her putt for par. It's a good shot. Towards the middle. 5 feet to the right, just misjudged. There's a wait. Time to refuel. Go over the scorecard. Go over the notes for this hole. Hoping
to avoid more of that. This being a much smaller field than it had been yesterday, but brief delay. Kim Soo-ji and company, Team Genie as well, excuse me. Eugene just a little lift. And the par finalized. Just enough speed to reach. She does get that elusive second birdie. Starts to pull away again. Finally the green light on 17. Birdie here in round one, par yesterday. Kicks a little left, but stays in that narrow stretch. Kim Soo-ji for a par. Had that wayward tee shot laid up, played a good approach, and just catches enough of the middle for it to drop. Last thing she wanted to do was relinquish the birdie she fought for so long to reach. Mere inches away from dunking that. And you can hear the supporters prematurely saying nice birdie. They know that it's a guarantee. Playing with your buddies, call that a gimme. Don't even have them putt it. And Sung Eugene, how? Well, cause her some headaches.
drive. It's gone up the hill and into the rough, to the right side of her target. It's got layup written all over it. Good feeling. You know you're going to have a birdie. She had an ace on the second hole of the day. Certainly some struggles, but my goodness, a little bit of everything on that scorecard today. Back in her zone.
85도.
Three holes to go for our final group today. Tee shots on 16. The first is a decent attempt from Kim Soo-ji. Deeper. She's playing the mental game as much as anything today, and the past 15 minutes she has been on the losing side of it. That is not going to be a fun recovery effort. Doesn't have a lot of green to work with. Got to get it close. Big sigh of relief. 1, 2, 3, 4 birdies on the day. The triple undermined some of her progress late in the first round, but ends on a high. Jae Reem finishing with the 70, of course. Hung Jung-mi officially in with a 69. Kim An-hee +4 with only one hole to go. Disappointing 1-4. There's Bung Min-ji just outside the top 20 in 22nd. Even yesterday, 74 today. So we continue to roll through standings. We'll step aside and be back to the 16th green, our featured group, putting on the par 3. We return to our leader. Our lead continues to increase. The deficit for her group mates increases. It should stay the same. That looks like par. Of course, she has to hole out, of course, to make it official. While we wait for more over there. 17. Lift and roll. Next candidate is Sun Eugene. She had an almost unthinkable miss for a par at the last. Karmic scales might have balanced with that birdie, but she'll have to tap in for par. Considering what that lie was, she will happily take that. The start at speed looks like the biggest issue. Great chance, unfortunately nothing to show for it.
자, 플레이하겠습니다. 이동 멈춰주세요.
So-Yoon 2, it ends as a bogey, drops her above par. Still tied for 5th though.
끝에 살짝 부드럽게.
She did the hardest part, the shot before. Unfortunately is not able to get up and down. It's a bogey for her as well on the penultimate hole. That is a lot of squares and just the one circle on that scorecard. EA1, all she has to do is not overthink this. It is par, and again, Genie takes the seat. Says, no problem, you lot take your time. It's becoming a pattern. Don't blame her. It's a long walk, these courses.
플레이하겠습니다. 멈춰주세요.
Took her time to visualize the drive. realizes it with the final swing of her driver today.
샷.
자, 이동 멈춰주세요.
샷.
That makes it a perfect trio of excellent drives. Just 2 holes remaining. And it is seeming like they will be stuck together again tomorrow. The one change might be Sung Eugene, depending on how this final run-in goes. Well, through 16 holes, Sung Eugene tied for third with Hung Yumin, who shot a 67 today. One of the best scores despite disappointing bogey to end the round. Kimani +4 on 18 right now. A lot of evens, very few under par, though worth highlighting. Meta Som, who went in with a 71 today. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it is the fairway on 17 as we near the end of our third hour of coverage of the 23rd HITE JINRO Championship. Nearing the top of the hour, and if all goes to plan for EA1, she has just 6 more shots today. She plays another one of her nearly trademarked great approaches now. Well, both the approaches thus far within 6 meters or so. Seems fitting, as Kim Soo-ji is the closest challenger to EA1. Only 3 strokes between them. The approach game has been the weak link for her today. Just not the consistency that she needs on a really challenging golf course. Only 2 left. First she will play with pitching wedge. It's the wrong side of the green. Unfortunately, she'll get a little bit more of a roll back to the requisite left side. Genie. 5 wood in hand as she is tied for 9th with 1 hole to play. Has not birdied on the back 9. And that run of 3 bogeys, 11 through 13. She went for it with her second shot. She is able to reach 2. To putt for eagle or 2 putt for birdie. Nearly 4 p.m. local time on what has been a mostly overcast day. Very comfortable 21 degrees with next to no wind. Of course, playing a little bit softer today, as it's not being absolutely cooked beneath the blazing sun. Working its way back, just breaks left. Tremendous effort for Sung Eugene when she really had no business being that close. We'll settle for a par. Solid up. Back to the very dramatic 17th green. Gee, looks like this is misread. It's well right. Well, we're not quite ready to crown her if she makes this putt, but going in to her final hole in the third round, the chance to be up by 4 would be absolutely massive. Uphill, line looks good, and the speed is there. She gets back to under par for the day. Third birdie, and she is in absolute cruise control.
15 이동하겠습니다. 플레이하겠습니다.
Kim Soo-ji has her par. She now trails by 4. Be curious to see just how aggressive she plays her second shot on 18. That's where we find her 17, 19, and 21. Go. A long way over for eagle. This has a chance. Oh, it grazes. Rolls over the right side of the hole. Literal millimeters away. Brilliant birdie for Imjini to end the day. The 2 birdies came on the final holes of each, the front and back 9s. See if she can make some noise tomorrow. Starts with a powerful drive. We'd expect nothing less.
오케이. 카메라 미리 눌러주세요. 동영상 버튼 미리 눌러주세요.
Chungsuki, downhill putt for birdie, right to left, get over ball, yes! Brilliant. Huge, huge putt for Eagle. Still finishes just over par for the round, but even for the tournament, through 54 holes. It's a nice little gift the competition committee has offered to our fields. So challenging, and you still have to be brave, you still have to execute. Eagle isn't a guarantee, but it's certainly on the cards. Sung Eugene heard the roar just moments ago as she teed off.
여기 통제 따라 드시는 분 계시니까 통제 따라서 따라 좀 부탁드릴게요. 시켜주시는 분들 이상한 사람 있잖아요. 이거 부탁드릴게요. 네, 합니다.
Trying to get in on the fun. A little less electrifying to end. She does settle for a par. It is a 73 for her as well. Tied for 6th at +1 for Kim So-yoon too. Sung Eugene, if she wants to be in the featured group once again, she needs the birdie. Really, really excited to see what Hung Yoo-min can do tomorrow. Anything close to a 67 again, and she's on for a podium, depending on what EA1 does.
진짜 이동 멈춰주세요. 네, 하겠습니다.
Only 178. This is 5 woods, as if there was any doubt that EA1 was going to reach. She's got the cushion, she can afford to be aggressive. The payoff could be major championship clinching. An eagle here, imagine a 6-stroke gap to start the final round. Settles on the fringe. That would be exceptional even by her lofty standards. But still, birdie seems very much doable.
179 the yardage for Sun Eugene. Feet in the rough. She sends that right. She walks up immediately to see where it goes. Today she has no issue reaching the green. Yesterday she got caught short by the stream. It's all the way to the end of this putting surface. To be hybrid for Kim Soo-ji. She can shape this a little bit better than her group mates were able to. 175. And she plays that really well. Maybe a bit too much weight to it. Everyone's either on the fringe or just around it. Arrival will be announced momentarily. Look at the line of patrons completing their tour of the Blue Heron Golf Club. Has arrived. Some divots to be repaired, some lines to be read.
배원이가 먼저. 배원이가 먼저.
I believe it will be, when everyone is ready, Sun Eugene's putt to be played first. Love this shot from the jib camera. Really good job of showing the changes of elevation and just how long of a putt this really is.
플레이하겠습니다.
She's ready to give it her best shot. This place would absolutely erupt. Sung Eugene, the first to attempt an eagle. She was hoping, excuse me, that she'd pick up a bit more speed in that last little stretch. So we'll have that remaining for birdie, and now she gets to be a spectator. She's done just about everything but eagle. 2 bogeys today, 1 and 11. Birdies at 2, 15, and 17. Would absolutely love nothing more to see her lead swell to 6. I'm sure she'd settle for 5, but 1 putt at a time. EA1 from the French for her eagle. Speed won't be the problem here. This looks absolutely scintillating. Come on! How? An eagle at the last. She goes to 8 under par. Has gained 4 strokes in the last 4 holes. We'll talk about stepping up in a pressure-packed situation. This is absolutely remarkable. One of her best moments of the season. And all Sung Eugene can do is let a smile slip. Absolutely remarkable. It still doesn't compare to a round of 68 yesterday. It's a 69. Depending on what Kim Soo-ji does, she leads this tournament by 6 strokes. Going with a different strategy. A little chip to get it started. This looks left and it looks a little bit slow. Well, eagle not to be, but the birdie should be. Hard to compute what we just witnessed. Just missing out. She'll be disappointed, but she still played some really good golf today. Just too many bogeys on that scorecard. 5 of them, in fact, 2 birdies. a 75 in round 3, her highest by quite some margin. And because of that unbelievable eagle, she will start the day tomorrow 8 shots back. It is already feeling a bit unlikely, just with the margin. But 5 back is a bigger boost than 6. Just needs to deliver on this birdie. Kim Soo-ji steps up and delivers, finishes with an even par round of 72. 70 on Thursday, 71 yesterday, 72 today, and is the runner-up heading into tomorrow's championship and major championship deciding round. Well, what a finish, what drama on the 18th and final hole. Sure, we'll see that eagle in just a few minutes, but we'll go through the whole day before we bid you farewell. We're going to start very early. We showed you about an hour ago the ace on the scorecard. Well, here's how it looked from her vantage point. And dramatic at that. She looks at her caddy in absolute disbelief. Her caddy goes, "Let me get the rangefinder to make sure. Did that go in? Yeah, I think that went in." A hole in one on just her second of the day. I mean, my goodness, it's hard to have a bad round after that. In the meantime, there were some more near eagles. That likely the best shots of the round for Hung Yoo-min, and it kick-started a torrid run where she seemingly could not stop birdieing, including this one from off the green on the fringe and into the hole. And she certainly had work to do because of a poor performance in the first 2 rounds, but that had been 4 in a row. More excitement on the second hole. This from Sung Eugene. Little did she know at the time it would be just 1 of 2 birdies for her today. Kim Soo-ji with a lengthy bird of her own. It also ended up as just 1 of 2 birdies for her on the day. 1 of 3 for EA1. Everyone. Good tee shots, but even more impressive putts. And we'll fast forward to hole number 8 next. This for 5 in a row and even par. Bogey 9, but would go out with a 32. Remarkable display from Hung Yoo-min, who certainly has that ability to just go off on these incredible streaks. EA1 had parred every hole since that birdie we just showed you. This, her second and final bogey, and it certainly made things a lot closer. She wouldn't be the only one in the group to bogey. Kim Soo-ji would bogey 11 as well. On 18, Hung Yoo-min, however, she'd have a late hiccup. That was to save a par. Fortunately, it was not to be. She bogey at the last, and in the end, a 67 to get back to even. Rewinding to 13, Kim Soo-ji, about a 5-footer. She would par out until the 18th, of course, as we had just seen. Continuing to go in chronological order, 15 is next, and this is where the pressure was really applied by EA1. Her putter came alive. Red hot club and nerves of steel. 17, the par 4. The lead was 3. until she had this effort from just inside the fringe. Go to 6 under. And of course, she was not done there. The shot of the tournament, I'd say this is almost more impressive than the ace. Especially considering what it might mean for her tomorrow. 2-8 under par. 33 on the way in after being even on the way out to 69 in round 3. And her lead, as a result, is quite comfortable heading to tomorrow. 5 strokes she has on Kim Soo-ji. Chung Sul-gi shot a 73 today. She is at even with Sung Yoo-jin and Hung Yoo-min. Im Jin-hee, 74, tied for 8th. Jae Rim-sol position of 10th. Ji Hen-sol leads the list of those at +5. So Jin with an even par round. Mata Som went under par to be at 8 over. Even for Chae Eun-woo at +9. Young Yeon-so +6, the amateur. Park Ji-young, unfortunately, just couldn't handle the pressures of the first few rounds. She is well and truly out of contention for even a top 15 position. Another amateur, Lee Hyo-sung at +15, where we find Chae Ga-bin and Chae Min-kyung. And at the bottom of the 65, the qualified, tied for it at least, Kim Bo-kyung. Well, that's it for us today. What a remarkable finish to a day that at times was a little stale, but we saved the best for last. And we will certainly have some more excitement for you tomorrow. Same start time, 1 p.m. local in Yeoju, back here at the Blue Heron Golf Club. For all of us at SBS Golf, I've been Adam Jenkins. Thank you for joining us. Have a great Saturday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow to crown our final major champion of the season. The odds-on favorite is EA1. Talk to you tomorrow, everyone.